10 awful crimes that will get you less prison time than what Aaron Swartz faced. This is an interesting article on Alternet. As we know, we talked about it yesterday, internet pioneer and Reddit co-founder Aaron Swartz committed suicide at age 26 over the weekend. At the time of his death, he was under indictment for logging into JSTOR, which is a database of scholarly articles, downloading a ton of them with the intent to make them public. If he had lived to be convicted, he faced up to 50 years or more in a federal prison and possibly millions of dollars in fines. Now, we talked yesterday about how some lawyers say that what he did may not even have been illegal, and we talked about how he had actually already basically made good with JSTOR, MIT, and the defendants in the allegations of theft, but he was still being prosecuted by U.S. attorneys. To put this in perspective, let's look at some crimes that I think are far worse than what he did, that would not have given him nearly as much of a potential prison sentence. Manslaughter, a maximum of 10 years in prison. Bank robbery, a maximum of 20 years in prison, 25 if it's with weapons and you're putting someone in danger. Selling child pornography, maximum of 20 years in prison. Knowingly spreading AIDS, maximum of 10 years in prison. Selling slaves, a maximum of 20 years in prison, more if you were kidnapping the slaves in order to sell them. Genocidal eugenics, using genocidal eugenics to prevent births of specific types of people, maximum of 20 years. Helping Al-Qaeda develop a nuclear weapon, maximum of 20 years. Violence at an airport with weapons, maximum of 20 years. Threatening the president, maximum of 5 years. Assaulting Supreme Court justice, maximum of 10 years. 50 years in prison is what Aaron Swartz faced. Now, some would say, well, it was such a stiff sentence because he had a number of counts of doing the same thing. Fair enough. If you were to add up, I guess if someone was selling child porn of a kid who they knowingly infected with AIDS after kidnapping them and using that kid to help Al-Qaeda develop nukes, yeah, you could add up a pretty long sentence here, but I think the point still remains. And I want to make a further point. Let me throw two more. Instead of just 10 crimes, let's look at 12 crimes, Lewis. Destroying the economy through manipulation of the financial systems through Wall Street firms, usually 0 years in prison. And droning other countries, questionably illegal, and basically just saying innocent civilians are just collateral damage, it's usually 0 years in prison. That one you usually get 0 for.
Right.
What a system we've got.
It is quite a system that, someone who did something that technically might not have even been illegal.
Right.
Threatened with 50 years in prison. Mm-hmm. Someone who is a rapist getting 10. It's insane. It's pretty insane.
What do you think about that, Natan?
I think that we have a lot of work to do before we make our justice system favor the majority of people and not the privileged few.
I would say that.